Happy day 3 of the Every Bit Counts challenge. I have a huge mess to clean up. So the chicken has cooked down to almost nothing. So I had to add a little more water to it. Now I do know there's a difference between broth and stock. I might call it chicken broth. I might call it chicken stock. To me, we're making a bone broth, but I like a little bit of flavor in mine. So I do a few bay leaves. I cut a couple of heads of garlic in half. I have some dried onion flakes that I add to it. Might do a little bit of pepper if I want. Some really basic base flavors I think are lovely in it, and it makes it a little more robust when we're doing soups and stews and those sort of things. So that's how my family likes it. You may want, if you were doing like one of the diets, you may just do chicken and water, nothing else. And that is totally fine if that's the way that you do it as well. So day 3 project is we are going to let this come up. So I've cranked it up, wow, then bumped it to 350. It's been at 250-ish. So until it completely broke down, became just the bones and what meat and skin is left to almost nothing, giving up all of its goodness, the color of that broth. I know it's a little dark in here. It's so dark. And that just came literally from the roasted chicken. It smells amazing in my house. But what I might also add to this, and that, like I said, is how we like it, is there is some fresh herbs on my porch. So hang on just a second, I'll grab some of this.
Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. We are Aaron and Jessica Milnes. We are building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska, with the help of 3 of our children. Our second son, Caleb, our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt, along with our 3 dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and the newest addition, Roberto.
Just a couple of sprigs of thyme and rosemary. We're gonna strain everything out so I don't worry too terribly much about it. But these are just flavors that I like. Use whatever you like. All right, here's what I have going on. You may notice my refrigerator's pulled out. Caleb is helping me clean it. Okay, to can, we've talked about this before, boiling water into the bottom, a couple, 2-3 inches, because the liquid that's going to go into the canner is also boiling. Hot in, hot in. There we go. Might put a little more on. Okay. So I'm just gonna use this strainer, and that way I can keep out the bones and the chicken, all of that. In my bowl here, I'll show you in just a second, I have a vinegar rag. And because there's oil and fat in the chicken broth, we do that. There we go, finger tight, straight in. So we filled 16 jars. We have our boiling water in the bottom. We are going to shut off. I'm going to put a little olive oil. You tighten down an all-American canner by lifting each of the sides, or the swivels. And then you do an opposite corner. So I'll go here and just finger tight here, finger tight here, and I'll just go around, give each one. Okay, and then we're gonna put the canner on high. We're gonna run it on high until steam vents out of this for 10 minutes. Let me show you how far down these bones cook. They just turn into like actual mush. They crush completely in my hand, and so they are safe for dogs now. I still am gonna run them in the food processor, then portion it out and freeze it, and then this is going to be really good dog food. You can make it with some rice, some other things, but this will be really good for the dogs, and then nothing goes into the dumpster, so everything gets used. Okay, so I'll kind of go through this and then freeze it. I don't need to do all that on camera. Let's see how much waste we have from 10 chickens. The bags that they were frozen in, and that. So a couple of the bones didn't break down or they wouldn't crush in my hand. And so I pull those out, and I'll make sure as I freeze this, same thing there. This will get mixed with Tipper. Our little pit bull had some major stomach issues last year during this time. And so when she did, the doctor told me to start making her dog food, which is like chicken and rice. You can do pumpkin and peas and lots of different things in it. We don't always make it. She still gets kibble, like kibble meaning dry dog food, like everyone else, but it is so much better when we can make it. The rice, and then this would have gone in the trash, is cheaper than buying the $50 bags of dog food. So if you don't have a cat or a dog, I don't know what you would do with this, other than it would probably have to be wasted at your house, but that's okay. That's okay. It would have been a byproduct or a waste product. Anyway, we've just found another use for it. So out of 10 chickens, we have, what, a cup maybe of trash. That's actually really, really good, and I think that's the point of this challenge. Every bit counts, is doing as much as we can in processing, but taking it off bit by bit, piece by piece, freezing, canning, dehydrating, freeze drying, whatever process may be. And we're not only feeding ourselves, we're gonna have good, healthy food for the dogs come this next month and winter and so on. So I told you throughout the process I would show you our freezers. And this one is pretty low. This is our fish freezer. So we only keep fish in here. And with very few exceptions, this is kind of some imitation crab. It is a fish, but it isn't actually a crab. Anyway, all of the other fish in here we caught and then froze our fish. So I'm gonna organize the fish freezer as part of today because we have some fresh fish to go in here, and I kind of want to work that towards the bottom and put all of this on the top. Okay, so I counted what we have. This is all the red salmon from last season we have left. There's some silvers and some pike from just this winter. This is some eggs that we're saving too. That's halibut and cod. That is all counted. And then under this is the red salmon from this year. Erin had packaged it and put it in the upstairs freezer just until we could get it down here. And I rotated that to the bottom. Then we need to work our way from the top to the bottom, even though that one wasn't completely full. Totally fine. We'll get enough fish to fill this freezer again and then work our way through it as well, which is amazing. We did so good last year filling these freezers during this time of the year, and it has lasted us. So moving forward, we have some big plans of smoking some of the salmon and canning it and lots of different things, so you'll have to stick around. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button. If you ring the bell, you'll get notifications. Thumbs up and comments do help our channel to grow. Let me put a little more stuff away and I'll join you right back. Okay, it's been a little bit. This ran for 25 minutes according to the information that I used. For the size and the pounds of pressure, my elevation, the whole 9 yards, you will have to check for where you're at. And then it says, that's hot, when it gets down to 0 pounds, and it is, we're gonna remove this and we're gonna wait. It says 2 minutes, but I like to wait 5 or 10 before I try opening this to pull the broth, chicken stock, bone broth, whatever you wanna call it, out of the cooker. Now that I have everything emptied out of my fridge, it is scrubbed. We are going to start to loosen these. Come on, you're strong enough. There we go. There we are. When you lift a canner lid, this one has a little bit of a lock. Lift it away. Look at that, see? None of that we want in our face. Oh, poppy. All right, let's pull them out. Actually, I'm gonna leave it for about 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna pull them out. Bear with me. Okay, I'm just jumping back and forth. I washed all the insides of the parts to the door for the fridge while this rested. Now while those dry for a minute, gosh, look at how dark that broth is. You cannot even see through it. That is some rich broth. Gosh, that's beautiful. Okay, so 16 jars in and out of the canner today. Refrigerator cleaned, completely scrubbed, so it's gonna be beautiful. I'm just gonna put it back together. And then the fish deep freeze is clean and evaluated and ready. And I think that accomplishes every bit counts, right? So if you're new around here, like I said, hit that subscribe button. I would love if you followed along. With that, I will see you guys in the next episode. I hope that you're blessed. I hope you find something to be grateful for today. And I hope that you are just doing whatever it is you can, little by little, for your family, for your future. Be blessed. Talk to you soon. One last thing, because I have this window open over here, I am gonna cover my jars so that they don't run the risk of getting a direct breeze. I don't know if that's actually a wives' tale or not, but I always just cover them. I'm going to leave them all night and not even touch them. I won't even take the rings off. I won't clean up the jars. I won't do anything to these until tomorrow. Here they will sit.